back here, and we're gonna do the metal stack right now. Just a note though, it's gonna start off with some punk because I don't know, it is. You can't do anything about it, so it's gonna start. It's gonna start with punk. This my local record store had got in a ton of the Green Day reissues, which I'm a huge Green Day fan, so I'd pretty much picked them all up because they were really cheap. I think they were like $13 each for some reason. But this first one actually isn't part of that. This first one is by a band called the Foxborough Hot Tubs. Casey, if you're watching this, if you haven't heard of these guys, you'll love this. This is Green Day's other band. This is all the studio musicians they work with and everything, and them in a band. It's more garage rock. This is from 2002, I think. I'm gonna say like 2002, 2003, right around there, before American Idiot. This is actually what Dose, the new album, is supposed to. Dose is supposed to be the sequel to this in some ways, but really check it out. There's some stuff you can find on YouTube. Really good, straight ahead garage rock and roll and everything. And Billy still sings on that and everything. And then Insomniac, which is just as good as Dookie in every way. The sequel is the reissue. And all these are on 180 gram. Nimrod. I'm a huge Green Day fan. That was the band I grew up listening to. Warning. Shenanigans. This is B-sides actually. It's B-sides and rarities and a couple covers. It's not actually considered a studio album, but hey. Now I don't know if I've shown this. I might have. I got a bunch of these, a couple of these a while ago. But American Idiot, really good on vinyl. You actually hear a lot more stuff that I don't know if it's just because you're just getting more into it, but you hear a lot more on vinyl in my opinion. And then the new album, you know, this is a power pop masterpiece. I don't even know what to say about this. If you like the Beatles, you might like this just because it's so Beatlesy. This album is one of the best things they've put out in a long time. I mean, it's in their top 3 albums, easily. And then my record store actually got this in a couple days ago early, so I've been spinning this a few times. This is Dose. This is the second in the trilogy. Really, Foxborough Hot Tubsy, not as good as the first one in my opinion, but it's not supposed to be like it, and I actually preferred the first one because of style. This one's a little darker. They get a little more artsy in this one. There's a track on here called Fuck Time, which is the second track. It's actually a Foxborough Hot Tub song they recorded for this. And the last song on this album is called Amy, and it's basically a tribute to Amy Winehouse, who passed away. But it's still a solid album. It's just not one of the best. I'm really interested to hear what they're going to do with the third one, though, because the first 2 have been so different. If you guys watch Lazarus' channel, which I'm sure you do, you would have seen that he got a huge metal score the other day at our local store. I didn't find out about that until that night, so when I went in, the biggest thing I found was this, which is a Kiss album that I still need. In shrink, it's mint. I don't know why they didn't grab it, but I still needed it, and there's only like, aside from new stuff and all the 30 different compilations they have, I really only need like 2 or 3 more Kiss albums. So, take that. Long Way to Heaven by Helix. Got this at the local record store. Just 80s metal. Meatloaf. And this is Dead Ringer. Sorry. For some reason I thought this was self-titled. I knew it wasn't, but I thought it was for some reason. So, Dead Ringer by Meatloaf. And also, I grabbed this at a local record store because I wasn't aware of this actually. But this is double platinum, but this is like a non-shiny, non-gatefold cover. So, LJ, you're a big Kiss guy. If you know anything about Kiss involving the non-shiny double platinum cover, let me know, because I didn't even know this was around, so I grabbed that. I have the shiny cover, but now I got both. This is off Metal Blade 1988. This is a band called Pandemonium. The Kill. Metal Blade, 80s metal. Some of that. Some people say it's obscure. Just bands that never got big that you gotta look out for. Slayer, Hell Awaits. Got that on vinyl now, finally. Anthrax, I'm Dangerous. Love Anthrax. Look at Scott Ian. Look at him with, look at that face. By the way, in the background is My Chemical Romance. The Lords, and this is Method to Our Madness. Jason Bonham's band from the 80s, besides Bonham, Virginia Woolf. Is their self-titled, I believe. Yeah. And then I also grabbed this. This is Push by Virginia Woolf. Both of these were promo copies. Georgia Satellites. Cool soundtrack. This is a Rock and Roll Fable, Streets of Fire soundtrack to the movie. And this actually has, what's his name in it? His name's escaping me right now, but I can't remember his name right now, but good actor in this movie. I really wish I could remember his name right now. I'm sorry. This is from a local band. I found this at a thrift store. And the guitarist for this band actually signed it on the back. He wrote a note to some girl named Deb. She basically said, here's the album, hope you like it. But this guy, I looked it up. This band's from Santa Rosa. And the guitarist on this actually was the recording engineer for pretty much every Shrapnel album from the 80s. His name's Dino Alden. So he still lives in the area, apparently, just probably a couple miles from me right here. So I gotta see if I can get him to go sign this. Along with all my other Shrapnel stuff. It'd be cool. But, really cool. 80s shred. It was just an EP. This is the only thing they put out, though. A band called Childhood's End. Close up. I know Greeno, if you can ever find this, you'll like this kind of stuff. Same thing with Dwayne. Raul. Needed this. Led Zeppelin Presence. Still got the sticker on it. And pretty good shape. Little ring wear there, as you can see, but Zeppelin's fairly easy to find in good shape, but you gotta pay a lot for it, and they get that pretty cheap. This is a live album by Y&T, Open Fire, also known as Yesterday and Today. Metal Church, The Dark. Gotta love Metal Church. Alice Cooper, $1 Billion Babies. This one does not have the $1 billion bill in it. The Cult, Love, and I actually got a 12-inch single that I showed from that one big garage sale find I found from this album. Mother's Finest, Iron Age. Guns N' Roses, Spaghetti Incident. This is not one of their better albums, but it completed the collection for me. So, I have all the studio albums, but I still need to get a copy of the band cover. So, this is a cool comp I found. And Raul, I know you had a contest, but I only have like 2 compilations, so didn't actually make a video for that. I apologize, but here you go. It's called Slave to the Metal. The track listing on this is Twisted Sister, The Price, Wasp, Blind in Texas, Scorpions, Can't Live Without You, Accept, Balls to the Wall, Striper, Soldiers Under Command, Judas Priest, Love Bites, Dio, Rock and Roll Children, Yngwie, I'll See the Light, Helix, Heavy Metal Love, and Queensryche, The Lady Wore Black. So really good compilation. Really cool. Straight ahead metal. Throw it on and party. Lizzie Borden. What's the name of this one? I forget the one. Oh, the Murderous Metal Roadshow. The font on here is just ridiculously hard to read from the side. But I really like Lizzie Borden a lot, especially a lot of the stuff from the 80s. But my favorite part about Lizzie Borden is they're one of the best 80s bands that make music now. They haven't lost a step. They're the same band. They're just as awesome as they were before. So if you like Lizzie Borden, don't be afraid to check out their new stuff. It's really good. Specifically the album Appointment with Death, 2004-ish. This is dead mint, and I mean like Dwayne would be proud to have this in his collection. Live After Death, Iron Maiden, 2LP. I've kind of committed to buying the Picture Disc series that's coming out, but I saw this and I had to grab it. One of the best live albums ever made, without a doubt. And that artwork, look at that. Oh god, if you guys haven't actually held a copy of this in your hands, you got to do it one day. It's one of the best feelings. It's like sex. The music just paused. It was all awkward. That's alright. Black Sabbath, Technical Ecstasy. Ozzy era still. Again, not regarded as one of their better albums, but Sabbath. You're going to need it at some point. And for $5 right now. This was an upgrade. My other one I bought on eBay when I was first starting to collect. And it came with a huge warp in it. Just at one point, it just looked like someone squeezed it. And finally upgraded that. Now I only need Dr. Feelgood, so if anybody wants to send me a copy of Dr. Feelgood, feel free. Never Say Die with the Bird Pilot cover. Again, not one of their best, but it's a solid album, and I got it for like $3. Mint, dead mint. So this is the equivalent of Live After Death for Priest. This is Priest live. This is before Ram It Down or Painkiller, so none of that on here. But I mean, okay, Out in the Cold, Headed Out on the Highway, Metal Gods, Breaking the Law, Love Bites, Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, Electric Eye, Turbo Lover, Living After Midnight, and You Got Another Thing Coming. That's not even all the songs. That's just like 2/3 of them. But damn, this is a great album. And Priest is amazing live. He kind of lost some of his vocals near the end of his career. Like now he won't hit all the high notes from the Ripper and all that, but solid live album. And Priest is getting up there as one of my favorite metal bands. You gotta respect the hell out of them, but yeah. This is Y&T, Down for the Count. LJ just showed this, I think. Recently, he was saying something about this robot. I didn't know what he was talking about, but the album's good. And super 80s in the back, too. For 85. This is Triumph, Never Surrender. Not the biggest Aerosmith fan, but I can dig this. Rockin' a Hard Place. This was a grail for me. I found this for $4 at the record store. Mint condition. I actually bought it from one of the guys that works there. He took it out of his personal collection and was selling it for some reason. But I love this album. Ram it down. Mint. I mean, dead mint. Drum machine on this album, but hey, you can't have everything perfect or it would be the greatest album of all time. And there's only a couple of those. This next one is a grail. This is like finding a sealed copy of Destroyer for me. This is a modern band called Crash Diet. And they have 3 albums. And the cool thing about them is the first album came out, and from top to bottom, it's one of the best albums I've ever heard. They play kind of like, they're 80s hair metal. They call it sleaze. They're from Germany. After the first album came out, their singer, Dave Leppard, committed suicide. So they went on hiatus for a year. They finally decided to reform, and they got this singer from a different band. His name was H. Oliver Twisted. They made an album with him. It was alright. It's probably my least favorite of the 3. But after that, he left and said he apparently had only joined the band to get more attention to his old band, who he went back to, and he was just an asshole. And there's a couple good songs on the second album. But then the third album came out, and they came out with this new singer, Simon. And this is right back where the first album started. They limited press these, I think, to 2,000 copies. And you have to import these if you're in the U.S. They were only released in Germany and the Netherlands, I believe. So, Miko, you would love this, and I'm personally recommend this to you because you wouldn't have to import it so far. But check this out. This is called Crash Diet Generation Wild. Straight ahead 80s. I'm going to actually show you guys the gatefold on this one. I mean, Motley Crue, you know, that kind of stuff. Just think Motley Crue on this. Here's the cover. Really good. I mean, check these guys out. And, I mean, go back and listen to the first, second albums as well. The first album might be my favorite, but I think this one's growing on me as my favorite now. And the second album is just killer as well. But, man, you just hate the singer after you found out what he did to them. This is the new singer. Simon right here. This is the guitarist, the bassist, and the drummer. Crash Diet, Generation Wild. Miko, I want to see you show this up one day. You'll love it. Dwayne, I'll just bring this over and play it for you unless you want to import a copy by yourself. I found a really good price on it, but it was still a substantial amount. But man, for me, that album is up there in my top 10 easily. It's so good. Yeah. Also grabbed this last week because it piqued my interest. This Death Album 3, Death Clock. Not really into death metal, but I don't know if it's just the cheesiness of these guys that made me really like them. But it's a solid album. It's a lot more melodic and musically, like as far as the instruments go, a lot better than the first 2, I think. Really cheesy lyrics though. The first track's called I Ejaculate Fire. Who knows if he really does, but solid album. I'm only about halfway through the stack and we're at 18 minutes. I'm going to have to speed it up or make 2 parts. Guns N' Roses, Lies. You guys know that, so. Wasp, The Last Command. Yeah. This album is killer. And look how badass that cover is. Look at that. Blackie Lawless. This I posted about probably 3 weeks ago now as my unholy grail. And this is Scream Bloody Gore by Death. One of the first death metal bands. And this is back when, I mean, artwork was hand-drawn. There was care taken into it. It had a story. You don't get albums like this anymore, and that's just a shame. But look at that artwork. That's up there with, like, Sabotage and some Dokken albums and stuff like that. This is a good album. If you guys haven't heard this, check it out. Death, Scream Bloody Gore. Look at the logo. You don't get logos like that anymore. the scythe, and the skull. This is back when music was at its peak. I mean, of course, before the big 60s and everything like that. Kill 'Em All. Nothing to say about that. I already had a copy, but I found a mint one for $1, so I had to grab this. But I already have one. It's a great album. Nirvana in Utero. Kind of went through a little Nirvana phase for a while. Really good. I don't know why that's not in the jacket, but really good album. Mars, Project Driver. This is McAlpine, Tony McAlpine was on Shrapnel. It's got Rudy Sarzo on bass, Tommy Aldridge on drums, and some guy, Robert Rock, I don't know, on vocals, but he's pretty good. Kind of in the vein of Racer X. Greeno, you've seen this before. I know your buddy showed it once. Right up the line with Racer X, right? Check it out if you guys like 80s metal. One of my favorite albums of all time is Operation Mindcrime, and I've been dying for it on vinyl, and I had never seen a copy. So I finally caved and ordered the 180-gram 2LP reissue, which sounds amazing. Better than digital by a long shot. Sorry, excuse me. It's a gatefold. I'm not going to take it out though right now, but if you guys are thinking about it, grab it. It's worth the $20 you'll pay for the reissue. One sec. Oh yeah. The thing was, I wanted it so bad I caved and ordered the reissue. As soon as it gets here, I play it and I'm in love with it. The next day, I go to the store and there's an original copy. So I had to grab it from '88 and have an original. And I gotta say, the reissue beats the original. It destroys it. The bass just really isn't there on the original copy. I don't know why. I mean, I hate to say it, but the reissue's better. But I'm still gonna keep this in my collection. British Steel. Don't really say anything about that. Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1. You guys know. If you don't know, I'm not even going to tell you what this album is. I'm not going to tell you that it's power metal. I'm not going to tell you that it's one of the best power metal albums of all time. I'm not going to tell you that Kai Hansen is amazing at guitar on this album. And I'm not going to tell you that Michael Kiske is one of the best vocalists of all time. Just go find that out for yourself. UFO Misdemeanor. I may have shown this. I think it's actually just got thrown in this pile because I listened to it. But UFO Misdemeanor. Another Nirvana. Nevermind. Sounds awesome. This is the, I don't remember what the exact nickname for this pressing was, but this is the good one, and it sounds awesome. Speaking of alternate pressings, the Back to Black reissue of Alive is fantastic. As much as Destroyer Resurrected helped, this helps. It's way better than the original. It's a lot clearer. You can hear everything, and it didn't take anything away from the recording. But if you guys see this for a good price, grab it. And of course, the new Kiss album, Monster. It's still growing on me, but it's a solid album. I didn't really like the mixing a little bit, and that's only because I'm a big mixing nerd, really into like recording music and stuff like that. So, Kiss Monster.